Mr. Hammerstein, you have a reputation in this business for being a most painstaking lyricist, sort of carving words and phrases as if you were a sculptor. Now, have you always been as careful as you appear to be today?
No, I was not. In my younger days, I'm afraid I was much more, at the time, sloppy. I wrote a great many songs and shows. Sometimes I'd collaborate on 3 shows in one season. And I would write on trains, and walking on the street, and sort of prided myself on the speed with which I wrote. And when you write fast, you don't write very well. And I think nowadays, when I struggle and sweat and take much longer over a song, I think I do better work. I had some rather severe lessons which improved my work. I can remember one experience in England. I had written the opening chorus of a very successful play here, The Desert Song. And since I knew it was going to be sung very loud with a very loud orchestra, I didn't pay much attention to the words. I knew that the audience wouldn't either. And I wrote words about these were riffs up in a mountain fastness, hiding away, so I had them singing, "When we are drinking, merrily drinking, who would be thinking who we are," and so forth. It didn't really make very much sense, but it made sound. And that didn't bother me until we went to England and did the show there. And I hadn't reckoned with the superior enunciation of the British chorus. And so when I stood in the back of the theater, Drury Lane, and heard them in very distinct and clipped consonants singing, "When we are drinking, merrily drinking, who should be thinking who we are," I bowed my head in shame and went out of the theater, and thought I would never take that chance again. I have a feeling that artists who are not artists, who are careless with their work, someday or other must pay for it. I'm told by amateur songwriters that they can write a song a day. And it would be so nice if they only wrote 1 song a year and it was a good one. But I find a peculiar thing about the amateur. The amateur is money mad. He wants to write a song and he wants to sell 1 million copies right away, and this is what he's interested in. He doesn't seem to have the same love for a song that a professional has. This is rather paradoxical, but my point is that if you really want to be successful, if you want to make a lot of money in anything, I think you have to love the thing you're doing. And most of the professional songwriters that I know who are successful really love songs. They love the whole idea of a song. And they love not only their own songs, but other people's songs. They are in love with the whole project of writing songs. The young man who's just beginning, who seems to reflect a desire to make a lot of money, and he seems to assume that the people who are making money at it are mainly interested in that. Of course they are interested in it, but that comes later. The most important ingredient of a good song is sincerity. The song has to be your own. You've got to believe every word of it, even though it may be unbelievable to other people. Even though other people may think it's a cheap song, you have to think it's a great song, otherwise you can't start it and finish it and make anything out of it at all. The basic rules, of course, of anything usually seem simpler than they are. For instance, the golf instructor says, "Keep your eye on the ball," and you say, "Oh sure, I'll do that. What else do I have to do?" But the longer you play, the more you realize how difficult it is just to keep your eye on the ball. If you do nothing else but keep your eye on the ball, you've got a pretty good chance of hitting it. But the beginner is more interested in what kind of stockings he wears on the golf course and how he looks and the jaunty way he walks up to a tee. The real professional has his mind on the simple job of the ball he has to hit. This tendency to skip over the fundamental things and grasp the superficial is the tragedy of man's history from the beginning of time.